Hello, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing amazing today. Got a very special message for you. So as we hop into it, just remember this is a collective general reading. Please remember to only take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else's story. If you're new, just stopping by, I really hope you can find a message out of this video. And if you're returning sub, welcome back. And thank you so much for all the support. So before we hop into it, I just feel like some major heavy intuitive energy going on for some of you. This is something you could have kind of grown up with, just being very connected to water. For some of you, it could be very emotional spirits, very wise old souls. And for others of you, you could straight up just be a water sign as well. Now, for a lot of you, the big vibes I was picking up, you could have naturally just been drawn to water since you were like younger. You could have kind of like done swimming lessons, something like this. For some of you, could have been a lifeguard. So we've got the karmic relationships in reverse. For some of you, possibly in the past, you had a struggle growing up. Maybe you didn't know how to swim or something to do with water. And then this could have been what essentially changed your whole views or brought you to this realization of this connection to it. So we're going to dig deeper with that, but that's really interesting to see to start there. And welcome everyone just tuning in. I hope you're doing amazing today. Last day of the month of love for February, but just know it's 2022, so there's still lots of time for love this year. If you found like you haven't found your person, no need to lose hope. Just keep working on yourself and just trust in that divine timing. So let's kind of see what other messages we can get out of the oracle, and then we're going to do some tarot as well. For some of you, you could possibly be a Pisces watching. Ooh, so we've got lifting the veil and breath of the cosmos, micromanaging the universe. So for some of you, possibly like swimming was something that really affected your life. Maybe you could have grown up around water as well. You could have lived close to the beach or the sea. And if not, you could have had a cottage growing up. With lifting the veil, it says questioning everything. Anything unaligned must go. So for some of you as well, it could have always been an interest of yours, the sea, everything to do with like deep sea and underwater, things that are unknown about the sea. For some of you, you could have an interest in sharks or other like underwater animals, possibly dolphins. For some of you, that could be your spirit animal as well. So we've got 3 more, and then we're going to hop into the tarot. Really interesting. So beautiful. Star Keeper. So cosmic ancestor, see the light by staying grounded. So for some of you, somehow this whole connection with water, it's either it was through something naturally that happened as you were younger and growing up, or like something like more traumatic that happened to do with water. Maybe you didn't know how to swim, something like this, but now you like love it. You have a very deep connection to it. There's something about swimming all the time, being involved in it. So we've got your life is a canvas. Beautiful. Artist manifestation, creative accountability. So for some of you, maybe you find that you get your deepest motivation or creativity from being by the sea, or say after a long day spending near water. It could be any kind of bodies of water as well for you. For some of you, it could be going to like the creek or fishing. For others of you, it could be surfing. And for others of you, I feel like you could have just really loved swimming, done all your lessons up to lifeguard. So we've got all paths lead home. Wow, beautiful. So look at that. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. So Spirit's trying to ask you right now, what is your connection to water? How do you feel in tune with water? For some of you, it could bring out a deeper sense of your emotions or your, I would say like your gifts or abilities. For some of you, maybe you experienced your spiritual awakening possibly by like going on a vacation somewhere. So let's keep going, see what comes out. And I'm going to do some archetypes today just to kind of dig into this. Hope everyone's doing amazing. This is just going to get to be a little bit of an interesting reading. I can already tell from the energy here. So let's see what comes out. Okay. Interesting. So for some of you, this is really weird, but it has to do with a family member of yours, possibly a father, someone like that has the same connection as you. So you could have actually grown up and been taught by this person to go fishing or swimming, stuff like this. There's something that they did that really connected you to water in a positive way. So the light attribute is talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. So wow, I really feel like for some of you, you could have gone fishing. Definitely could have been like a bonding experience. For others of you, maybe you just like to, I feel like, I don't know if you caught frogs as a kid, something like this, or like crayfish, something like this. And possibly like it was a parental figure, like a father that used to take you to do this. So wow, we've got advocate too. So it's really sweet because if you think about it, could be almost like when you're younger, you know how kids, you have a couple friends, right? But until you're really like in school and stuff, say you were really little, you could have just had your parents and maybe your immediate family around you. So this could have been a bonding experience between you and a parental figure. For some of you, possibly as well, it could have been around where you lived. Like say, for example, you could have had a creek close to the house or in your backyard. So with advocate, it says inspires you to put compassion into action. So there's something this parental figure did for you as well. For some of you, you could have a really deep fascination with fish tanks. You could just find yourself naturally drawn to them, something about aquatic landscape or just taking care of animals. With the saboteur here, it says highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. So for some of you, you're not very expressive about your love for the water. For some of you, like maybe you prefer if you were to live by the sea or say have a pool in your backyard, or for others of you, like be a part of that water nature. Hello, welcome everyone tuning in. Okay, make sure you keep it nice and positive in the chats and hit that like button if this is resonating. Thank you so much. Perfect. So I feel like as well, maybe for some of you, you could have always had fish tanks. Maybe you grew up actually raising fish as well, like little spawns of fish. That's really, really interesting. I feel like for some of you, this could be something you actually currently do. Only take that if that resonates for your story, but for some of you, you could actually be someone who goes and rescues fish from other places, saves them from dying in certain areas. So if you are someone who's part of wildlife rescue, that's absolutely amazing. Wow. For some of you, I just heard you could have a connection to like whale watching or even for dolphins. Depending on where you live, I'm picking up to definitely on like the Florida, West Coast area, or even like California. With the engineer in reverse there, it's saying there's something you wish you could do. So maybe growing up, you always wish you were connected to being a marine biologist, or if you could have been a lifeguard, maybe when you were a kid, that was a dream, you never did it. I feel like something to do with water is very significant. I feel like for some of you growing up too, it was either like you had a pool or your best friend had a pool. So you could have just always been in water. And like I said, if that doesn't resonate, definitely getting heavy water energy. But we're going to keep going into it and see what comes out here. We haven't even gotten into the tarot yet. Welcome everyone tuning in. I hope you're having an amazing day wherever you are. And wow, for some of you, you're a water goddess. So that's absolutely beautiful. We've got the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. So for some of you, you are very connected with water, and that is when people find you most alluring. So wow, almost like a mermaid in a sense, but of course in being a human. But yeah, it's just like when you're swimming, there's something about your aura that could come off different. It could actually change color, possibly from like a purplish to a blue for some of you. And for others of you, it's like from a purplish to an orange. Completely different aura and vibe you give off just being surrounded by water. You don't even necessarily have to be swimming, but say you're just at the beach, or for some of you, it's almost like you are being, wow, okay, thank you, Spirit. For some of you, you're actually like more, I would say not only happy, but say in your highest vibration when you are living close to water. So this could be a message for some of you if you were thinking of relocating or always wanting to. This could be a calling for you that's where you're going to thrive the most. So we've got the bully card as well. It says highlights your tendency to intimidate others and helps you in confront the inner fears that bully you. So with this one, I feel like if you've been holding back how you feel towards anything else necessarily, like to do with your love of water, or say you want to move somewhere, you're kind of worried what others would think, and you don't necessarily want to be brought down for it. Or say you do have this very unique connection, you feel like, with water. Like I said, for a lot of you, you could have like a C-type spirit. So it's almost something you don't feel comfortable expressing, but it's something that more is shown as soon as you are near water or in water. It's like your vibration instantly raises. And you know what's funny? I just heard even maybe when you were a kid, say you were taking swimming lessons, it's like something that everyone else always noticed around you as well. Okay, so let's get 2 more archetypes, and then I'm going to actually hop into the tarot and see what messages comes out. Okay, so we've got healer. Beautiful. So the light attribute, passion to serve others by repairing body, mind, and spirit. Ability to help transform pain into healing. So some of you, you are healers, and this is something naturally that you can do, especially through water. So if that makes sense, you could be someone who finds yourself very drawn to, wow, I just heard like foot baths or spiritual cleansing. And for others of you, it's just like you have a pool, you find yourself more energetic in a sense as well if you stay connected to water. So for some of you, if you do know you have a pool, or you honestly can resonate with that you feel more rejuvenated just after a day at the beach, or just being like in that vacation mode, like in that nice weather, they are saying it's something for you to consider as well. Just like maybe too, it's the area that you live in versus that could be raising your vibration. But that message won't be for everyone. So please remember to only take what resonates. I feel like too, for some of you, maybe growing up, you could have been the type to like go out with your friends to like rock quarries, stuff like that. And if not, you went camping. So the child eternal, you're someone that really feels like a kid again, or drawn to water. It like makes you feel like no matter what stress or whatever you're going through, if you're connected to the beach, or for some of you, it literally is observing wildlife, right? Like going whale watching, say, depending on the area you live in. For some of you, I keep hearing Montego Bay. So if that's the case, you are actually like highlighting that inner spirit of yours when you connect to water. So that's a really beautiful energy. And just for some of you, it's almost like that's where you'll find the best for meditation and clear, like, minded spirits. And especially for spirit guides to come and communicate clearly with you. With this Monk Nun card here, it's beautiful. It says selfless devotion and single-minded dedication to spirit. So some of you could actually really love to go sit by the rocks, like by the water, I'm hearing. Something you could frequently do just to clear your head, meditate. For some of you, maybe you like to smoke a J, or for others of you, just like to hang out if that's not your thing. And for some of you, you could like to go for runs and stuff, and maybe you observe this on your way, depending on where you live. So really beautiful energies. Let's get into some tarot and see what comes out. Wow. So for some of you, you're more of the risk taker when it comes to water. You could actually like to do things like swim with the sharks or go scuba diving. I'm hearing parasailing. And for others of you, you aren't afraid to even go kayaking in the deep sea, be more adventurous. So really beautiful energies there. For some of you, maybe even like that heavy water rafting. I'm not sure if it's rapid water rafting, something like this. And for some of you, that could be like a bucket list thing. Maybe Spirit saying get out there this summer and go tackle some of those things you really want to try. I keep hearing parasailing. Maybe it's on someone's bucket list. For some of you, you just really need to take a vacation. Maybe go to somewhere tropical. Wow, beautiful. I keep hearing for some of you, you're going to go to Mexico. Okay, so let's get some tarot and see what comes out. And we're going to do an angel message first before we hop into that. So this one's a little bit different today. Definitely just feeling this energy right here. I'm going to keep going, see what comes out for y'all. And I hope you're doing amazing. Okay. So let's get one angel message and see what pops out. For some of you, maybe you have a bucket list as well to like go fishing, deep sea fishing, do something really out of the ordinary. For some of you, it could even be like the whole bungee jumping where you dip your toes in the water. At this time, I am not recommending you try any of those things, but just saying these might be things on your bucket list. So beautiful. Wow, look at that. It says, at this time now, you are being reminded to not let your past hurts hold you back from moving forward. Trust where you're being guided now and open your heart. Okay, so for some of you, clear message that it could have been growing up, you had this love for water. Maybe you honestly even like to pretend you were, I'm not sure, a mermaid or a merman, something when you were a kid, swimming and stuff. Maybe subconsciously you had other kids that made fun of you for this, or just how much you like love to swim. Something to do with that, or if not, it is very strongly a message that you were someone that was emotional growing up, right? Connected to water in that kind of sense, and you could have been picked on or bullied for being more sensitive and more kind, and it was something that people viewed as a weakness possibly for some of you growing up. But now it's almost like Spirit saying not to reject that, to really let go of the past hurts, and to actually come into that and realize that for a lot of you, you're empaths, right? And you didn't have an awareness as to what that was when you were a kid. And now you do. And look at this. For some of you, it's like you could have been surrounded by karmic relationships, right? That didn't allow you to see the beauty of the gifts that you uphold, being connected to water or feeling very connected emotionally. So next one we have here, it's time for you to focus on you. So that's so beautiful. It says, yes, you're allowed to do that every once in a while. So you're actually being encouraged now by your angels to put the focus on you for a change, to really put yourself out there and to follow your heart in whatever it is you want to do. For some of you, you want to make a big move close to water. It says you're a star. You are meant to shine. You're an inspiration to many, whether you realize this or not. Get ready. Wow. So for some of you, you're going to do something new, possibly like, say you are someone who does competitive water sports, something like this. You could actually be the first to do something. And we've got focus on the positive. Divine is reminding you to be grateful for all you currently have in this moment. It is important to remember all steps of the journey. Don't dwell on the negative. Beautiful. So that's really cool. It's really saying to embrace all your emotions as you are. For some of you, definitely picking up Pisces energy. Okay, let's get some tarot and see what we can pull out. And welcome everyone just tuning in. I hope you're having an amazing day. I will leave this reading up so that you can check back from it. Wow, we've got the worlds. For some of you, this connection that you have with water, there's something so unique about it and very connected to your lineage, or if not to your emotions. And this is something that you're going to be very expressive in the world. And it's going to really change a perspective for quite a few people around you. And if not a whole audience of people. Wow. So we've got the moon. Definitely you could be a Pisces. And with the moon as well, look at that. The imagery on this card is so beautiful. We've got the mermaid and it's gleaming underneath, or she rather is gleaming underneath the moonlight. Now the moon signifies secrets, things that are unknown. So for some of you, you could actually not even realize the full duality of your gifts or your connection to water. So it could be something that Spirit is guiding you to this message right now just to explore, right? For some of you, it's really going to raise your vibration just by being able to even move, say like geography, not like directly close to water, but still close, if that makes sense. It's saying like you don't need to have the beach or the sea right in your backyard, but you could be moving somewhere that it's a lot closer than it previously was. For some of you, this is really going to balance out your energy and even some of your karma. For some of you, you've been stuck on past people's karmas as well. You've had karmic energies just lingering around you. For some of you, these tower moments, if you've had any in your life personally, they are saying they are happening because either you're not connecting enough to your emotions, or you need to make some sort of vibrational change here to do with water. And something you could even do is by For some of you, maybe you're going to join, there's even like sort of a yoga water thing going on. I'm not sure how it is now with like part restrictions in the world, part not. But for some of you, they're saying to get creative with it. There's something you're going to find that you're going to love. Maybe for others of you, I just heard from Spirit, you may have a hot tub and you just don't use it. They're saying get in there, spend a half an hour, even every other day. It's going to really help you feel more connected, or for some of you, even just like help work out your muscles a bit better. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. So for some of you, if you know you find a deep connection within water, just by you going and being in water, say it's a pool or a hot tub or a beach or whatever is convenient for you, this actually like helps realign your chakras instantly. And for some of you, it instantly raises your vibration. Say you've got any creative blocks or even like negative energy sent your way, it helps clear that as well. So that's really interesting. That's going to be a message for someone. I'm feeling like, especially if you know you're a water sign, Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces. 7 of Wands. Yeah, look at that. So for some of you, being connected to water in whatever way you kind of know this is for you. Some of you might just like to take long bubble baths, relax, right? Or you're the like hour-long shower type. Got to have your playlist in the shower, you know, and you got to have it switched up and all that. And that's your time, especially maybe if you have a big family or a family around you or partner. It's like that's your time to really focus on you. For some of you, you and your partner maybe even connect with water, if that makes sense. I'll leave that for y'all, keep it PG. But yeah, that could be your thing as well. And for others of you, it's just saying there's something to do with water that brings out this creative side of you that you've never quite been able to express before. And it's almost like a deeper sense of emotions as well. So really beautiful. You'll know if that resonates too, because I'm hearing it's like something you've been like since you were a child, like 2, 3 years old. Maybe 2, you could have been the first in your family to learn how to swim at a really young age. And for others of you, it's just like they couldn't get you out of the water. Like you always loved to swim or be involved in some sort of water sports, maybe even water skiing, kneeboarding, wakeboarding, all those different sorts of things, tubing. Wow. And for some of you, definitely you like to either go kayaking or canoeing with someone in your family growing up. And for others of you, it was like you went fishing with either like a dad or a grandpa growing up. So this could have been originally how your family lineage actually connected you back to your sense of being connected to water. So this could be something that's kind of either, it's not in every single person in your family as a generation, but it's like either your father figure or your grandfather or even the two of them. It's like those two and it was passed on to you. It's just something to do with your emotions and your creativity being heightened when it comes to water. So really interesting there. Really beautiful with the Ace of Wands energy as well. So we're going to keep going and see what comes out. And notice too, like, wow, the sun. So literally right now, they're saying for some of you, you know this already though. They just said to say that. You feel your best after you spend a day at the beach with some friends, getting a tan, or with your family, or even solo for some of you, whatever could be your thing. Some of you just like to go meditate. And for others of you, you like to spend all day walking around the beach, going swimming, tanning, relaxing. And for some of you, you just like to be in the water in general. But notice how they're really like rejoicing, praising. I feel like too, this brings you to a deeper spiritual connection, maybe more than you even realize as well. So that's really interesting. For some of you, your spirit guides are letting you know that every time you make those little moves towards water, wow, okay, thank you, Spirit. For some of you too, you could have a bucket list to do with certain things you want to do, like maybe you've never been snorkeling or swimming in the sea even for some of you, or could be an opposite. You've never had a chance to live close to water, but you've been to the beach and been to the sea. Whatever it could be for you, they're really saying to connect to that because there's something there for you. It's really going to open up almost like a third eye chakra, or just instantly realign you and give you a new sense of creative ability or understanding. So really interesting energy. Wow, I just saw the Ace of Pentacles when I was shuffling there. So we're going to keep shuffling, see what else comes out. And welcome everyone tuning in. Don't forget to like this video if it resonates. And if not, thank you so much anywhere for just joining in. So we got the 10 of Wands, beautiful. So for some of you, this is something you're pretty independent on. Like I said about how it was only either a father or grandfather that shared this same ability as you. It's something that you don't share with, say you have siblings, they don't share the same ability as you. Or for some of you, you could straight up be an only child and you're aware of this. So wow, for some of you, if you do end up having children and you don't already, it's going to be something you're going to pass on only if you have a son, is what I just heard from my spirit guide specifically. So if you have a female, it's not going to be passed on, even if you are a feminine or masculine watching this. But for whatever reason, if you have a son, it will be passed on to them. So they could actually be someone, if you know this is already true and you do have a son, they could either be a water sign or they are very naturally sensitive. And not in a bad way, right? It's amazing to see that because, I mean, for so long, it was like almost like men were taught they weren't allowed to cry, which is just so wrong because all humans are allowed to share the same emotions, right? And so I feel like, of course, that's changed now throughout generations, but still you will encounter certain people that feel like that or have been raised that way. And I feel like you'll do a great job at teaching your child how to have strength in being emotional and not being just like, you know, the emperor can tend to be more of a cold, detached person. So it's almost like when you have this masculine child, you will teach it how to be emperor, but like almost like a leveled up version where they're not as detached and cold. They're more emotional and giving at the same time as being in control of their own life and, you know, constantly striving for better and being an entrepreneur, boss-like mindset, but also with having that more feminine emotional side to them. So that's a really beautiful message for someone out there. And you may already know that. You may have a couple, like I'm hearing like 5 to 10-year-old child already, or even like 4 to 10, something that you just know they're already kind of a little bit more sensitive. Spirit's saying don't worry about it. Keep working with them. It's actually something that's a really beautiful gift that they have. So for some of you, your child is empathic. If you know this or suspect this about your child, this is your confirmation. And for others of you, you are meant to have an empathic masculine child. And remember, this is a collective general. So of course, if you know you're unable to have children or you already kind of have, that might not be your message, but it definitely is for someone out there. So that's really beautiful. I just saw the Capricorn card as well. So for some of you, this could be with a Capricorn. You are meant to have this child. And for others of you, it's almost just like you two will break the ties as parents to allow this child to realize it's okay to be emotional growing up. So that's going to be a really beautiful message for someone out there. And I feel like, wow, I just heard like, okay, so you could either be a feminine or masculine watching, but regardless, it's going to be, we had the father card out earlier, so it's going to be the masculine energy of the parents. They kind of were brought up in that energy where they weren't able to express their emotions. So this is something that's going to be very important to them, or maybe the two of you as parents. So really beautiful energy if that does resonate for you. And I feel like it's just something you're going to be on the same page about. So really beautiful to see. Wow, look at that. Yeah, look at that. So the person that you meet as your partner, they are someone that was taught to run from emotions, like when things got tough or when they got in too deep when it came to love or feeling things. They were just taught to kind of hold back and be more that masculine energy. Even if they were feminine, this is how they were raised. But you yourself were kind of the opposite, or if not, the two of you were raised the same way. So it's very important to the two of you when you raise children not to have them run from their emotions, right? To face things head on and to realize that they always have others there to help guide them. So wow, I've never got that message from the Knight of Swords. Thank you, Spirit. I feel like that was really beautifully conveyed there. So I hope that resonated for someone. Definitely, I feel like that could be something for you and your person. It's very important. So wow, I just heard this is a whole idea too behind this having an emotional water spirit, because you couldn't necessarily be a water sign, but you'll know if you resonate with having that connected water spirit, where it's just almost like you either vibe higher or you just are very in tune with your emotions, the emotions of others around you as well. Okay, so we're going to do another shuffle here. Signs we've also got on the board, you could resonate with any of these. We definitely got Pisces a few times. We've got Scorpio, and we've got Aries with the Justice. We've got Libra with the Strength. We've got Leo, Sword energy. We've got Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But definitely heavy water energy, and there's a little bit of fire energy as well. Look at that, water, wow. Ace of Cups, exactly. So it's all about harnessing in that connection that you have to water and spirit. And wow, I never noticed the imagery in this card, but if you almost see, it's like the light reflecting is that of emotions, right? It looks like a trail of water trickling behind it, behind the love. So really just connecting the two together to be fluid with our emotions. I feel like for some of you, this is a transitional phase you're going through right now. Learning to almost how to be okay too when it comes to feeling certain heartbreaks. For some of you, it's like maybe feelings and emotions was something you rejected in the past when things didn't go okay. It could have been something that shut down for you, or say you dealt with a difficult family life. Could have also been something that made you shut down previously. But now it's almost like you're being guided by your spirit team or your own self-awareness that this is something you want to change. You want to connect the two, your mind and spirit. And for a lot of you, that has to do with your emotions being at the center core. And for some of you, they're just saying, wow, you're going to experience this by going to some sort of just body of water. Like I said, it's different for each of you. You could even, they just said, some of you even just have a fountain or something close to you. You like to sit and visit maybe at a park. But anything like this that you know is like a safe, happy place for you, and you can get some sort of peace or like solace, like solitude, feeling like free, feeling like you can manifest things or really have like a clear mind. This is where they want you to go. And for some of you, you could directly live by a beach or something. They want you to take a quick walk on the beach. For some of you, it's taking a jog. Take what resonates. Really beautiful message though. Okay, King of Cups. Wow, some more water energy. We've also got the Two of Wands and Three of Pentacles. So yes, this is going to be something that you or your person, well, you for sure, but maybe even your person as well, are going to pass down to one generation there. Definitely heavily feeling like it would be a masculine energy. Another thing for you, you're kind of being asked right now to do a little bit of research into maybe what makes you happy or most drawn to the sea. Like maybe it's the unknowns. Maybe for some of you, you love to be connected to like watching Shark Week type stuff. Or if that's not it, you just love to know about even Bermuda Triangle, different things like that. Like for some of you could have a huge fascination with those documentaries about deep sea diving or even lost shipwrecks, different stuff like that. Wow, for some of you, I just heard Titanic. You could be super into that. Or the discoveries of old shipwrecks. Beautiful card too. If you notice the King of Cups, there's a starfish and another beautiful fish from the sea there. I feel like for some of you, you could have a saltwater tank. And for others of you, this is just a dream of yours. You love fish tanks, but you've always wanted a saltwater tank. For others of you, you could actually be connected directly to starfish. That could be your spirit totem. I'm told for some of you to go look up the meaning when you have a moment and see if that really resonates for you. There could be a message there for some of you, especially if you are a divine masculine watching, because notice how the King of Cups has a crown on their head, and especially if you are a water sign. Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. So check out the starfish meaning if you are a water sign, feminine or masculine specifically, though kind of listed there. And interesting. I will leave the description for it after this video is posted. I will definitely leave that for y'all as well. Link it in there. Really beautiful. Never had such a strong message there. Oh, definitely Megalodon. Interesting. Welcome everyone tuning in. I really hope this resonates. For some of you, wow, maybe you're into like ancient dinosaur sea times. And for some of you, you could really like sharks for sure. I feel like there's something about a blue whale though. So if you don't find, they just said, if you don't find that the starfish resonates, my spirit guide said to look up a blue whale. I've seen it 3 times now being shown to me as I'm doing this reading. So I feel like it's significant for someone. And for some of you, you're being asked if you know you want to do this, you're able to take that vacation, to trust it's going to be okay. And for some of you, it's really going to reconnect you with your higher self and your life path as to where you're headed next. So let's get a few more tarot, and then we're going to get a few clarifiers on these oracles here, because there's always some beautiful, deep meanings. But I'm surprised it didn't pull out yet, but the only one oracle that really goes, we've got one that says dive deep, you know, time to connect. So I'm wondering if that one is going to get pulled, and if not, I still feel like it's a message for someone as they brought it up to me. Maybe for some of you, you're really being asked to connect with your past family, like people that you no longer kind of associate with, or even like distant relatives. Maybe there could be some messages for you in there. For some of you, they could actually live along the water. Maybe they live on the east or west coast. 5 of Cups, definitely we've got east or west coast vibes there with that. And for others of you, it's like you could even just share like a family cottage where growing up, everyone liked to get together and do like family reunions, stuff like this. Maybe with the pandemic over the last few years, no one's really fully gotten together. And this is like Spirit saying it's going to be safe to do so this coming year. So that's going to be a really specific message for someone if you guys have been planning a sort of get together around water, maybe a vacation. For someone might be getting married overseas or going on one of those destination weddings, and it's had to been postponed so many times because of everyone else and maybe the restrictions and that going on and off. So maybe for some of you, this is like an okay from Spirit to know, wow, thank you, Spirit. Okay, so if you've been having troubles planning a destination wedding, this is a really specific message. If you know you're planning a destination wedding and something keeps putting it off and you know your intuition is telling you this, they just said to count the birds. That's how many months. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So for some of you, they're saying 10 months is a safe bet to get married. So interesting. That would be what, around November or early December for you at the end of 2022. They're saying that's a safe bet that for a lot of you, you'll be able to ensure that everyone could go and that nothing is going to kind of not go according to plan. So that's a very specific message for someone. If you tuned into my readings, that was very specific. So there you go. Never seen that before, but I love that. And if that resonates for you, definitely drop a comment in the chat there. Beautiful. I feel like for some of you too, you could know, like maybe even growing up, say you did live close to a body of water, you and your friends, or even just you yourself, you used to go self-reflect by the water. And for others of you, I really feel like there's just something to do. That's very interesting. All right. I really feel like for some of you, it has to do with options as well, to do with water. So you could have multiple water signs interested in you. So please remember to take only what resonates. Let's see what else comes out. 10 of Cups in reverse again, and 10 of Wands, 10-10. So 10-10 signifies endings, new beginnings. For some of you, you're being asked to let go of any outdated beliefs you may have that you could be too sensitive or too emotional. They're saying for some of you, you need to accept your empathic traits and just come to more grasp or terms on how to kind of keep your energy more guarded into yourself, and then when to be able to give it and express it more to others, to have a better balance. Wow, so the Lovers card just flew out. So for some of you, it's expressing emotions with partners. So it could just be that you're someone that's over giving, right? Especially with it being in the upright, it's like you're someone very giving. And I feel like sometimes maybe you could be disappointed with emotionally how relationships go. Maybe they're more surface level where you're someone, wow, thank you, Spirit, that likes to go deep, deep within the soul. And this is part of your deep soul spirit, right? You are someone who doesn't just connect on a surface level with people. You really connect on like a 5D level, and if not, almost like a soul tribe level, like starseed, like above this lifetime into many lifetimes. And for a lot of you, this is how you live every relationship. You really put your all into it. So for some of you, it can be rather defeating. And I feel like maybe emotionally draining as well if a relationship doesn't work out. You could be someone who feels like it's kind of like the be all end all when things don't work out. Wow, as if to. And notice how it's water. Literally. So look at that. It's almost like with the Six of Swords there. Anytime you get left out in the cold or heartbroken, you feel lost at sea, right? Like you're literally lost on a journey all by yourself in a sea of your own emotions. You could be someone too. So when you get heartbroken, you really take it hard. I'm hearing for some of you, like it's like when you feel things, you feel it deep. And when you get heartbroken, you feel it like really extreme. So very empathic with your emotions. You could also feel your emotions of your partners. So we're going to get a few more cards. And okay. About 5 more cards there. All right. So wow. 7 of Swords and the Devil in reverse. So they're just saying to beware of toxic energies that can actually drain this sense of feeling from you or leave you feeling in a sense of lack for being this emotional. It's like almost like you've dated certain people that literally know how to play on these emotions. So you could have noticed maybe in the past you had a partner or two, could have had more manipulative tendencies, was essentially taking from you or taking advantage of the emotions you poured out towards them. And if not a partner, this could also be family or friends or even work situations, right? You could be someone who's very emotionally giving to the entire world around you with the sun and the world there. And it could be something that a lot of people tend to take advantage of. I feel like if you know that's the case and it's something you're trying to change, you know, or you have already, not being a pushover so much and you're regaining a sense of balance, but realizing too, it's okay to be emotional and sensitive and just to really protect your energy from these types of energies. For some of you, you're being shown how to do so, and you could be being protected from a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Specifically, I'm hearing if you are like a water sign or even a fire sign here. With the 8 of Wands in reverse as well. So you could have actually previously been in a relationship where someone kind of more, not necessarily picked on you, but didn't like embody the fact that you were emotional and sensitive. They weren't all about it, right? They kind of could have knocked you down for it and made you feel less than, or made you feel like you saw the world in a different light, but truly you were just empathic. And for some of you, you could have been around a person or persons that didn't really understand how emotional you could have been. Definitely too with that card in reverse, Cancer. So you could have been a Cancer or dealing with one. Wow, the Hangman in reverse, Pisces energy too there. So look at that heavy water energy. And I feel like with this though, the Hangman coming at a reverse, this is your spirit guide showing you now how to connect the two in a stable and balanced space in your life. So that's really beautiful message for some of you. It took a heartbreak or a series of maybe like a misfortunate events or just detaching from people that left you feeling emotionally drained to learn that it's okay to be an emotional giver, but only to a certain extent, right? Not to overextend your energy and how to protect it. They just keep saying they're showing you how to protect your emotions now, because people could have tended to drain those from you just by being near you. And I feel like too, wow, they just said if you know you're someone who lives close to water, it's like a lot of people in that area could be doing that to you. Or if not, I just heard if you live close to water and it's really sunny, For some of you, you're actually supposed to be spending more time out in the sun and you aren't. Like you're working too much, you're spending too much time inside, but you live in a really nice weathered area all year round. That's going to resonate for one or two of you. If it does, they're saying for some of you, go spend more time out in nature and really connect back to the water. And like for some of you, it's just as simple as even going right maybe along your neighborhood, or I'm not sure if there's a park or something to do with water, but mostly for some of you, it's either a vacation or the beach. And for others of you, you could just have like a small cottage. Wow. For some of you growing up, this could have been the tragedy or the traumatic event. You could have actually been trapped out in a large body of water. Or if not, it's like you were in a rockety boat once with a family member or someone. It could have tipped over. That could have been something that happened as well. I really feel like what they've been signalizing with this as well, though, is you could be someone who's feeling a little detached from how emotional you are. You're trying to be a little less emotional, if that makes sense. And they're saying to embrace it. Don't try and like hold that back or let go of that. Just learn how to, as they say, like master your own emotions, right? To really like figure out how to, you know, how can I say this? It's just like, even if certain things happen and you really want to have like a tear about it, how to, of course you can have those tears, Spirit saying, but how to hold back until you know it's the right time, or you know what I mean? For some of you, maybe that's where you're getting upset, is real. You feel very sensitive, like you could just have outbursts at the wrong time possibly, or possibly you could just be someone very sensitive, even hearing music I just heard, or specifically watching movies, just you're constantly feel very emotional. If that's the case, this could be a message for some of you to really embrace that, but to learn how to connect and balance your emotions out. And that's only something we can do for ourselves, right? So many different ways you can do that. For some of you, it's going to be through meditation near water, or even just experiencing some sort of water activity, swimming. All right, so 9 of Cups in reverse. Wow, so for some of you, some of your biggest wish fulfillments have to do with water. Like I said, I keep hearing parasailing, or like something adventurous someone wants to do, and they're just either scared to go out and do it, or they keep just putting it off, and it's been years later, and you're like, okay, you still haven't done this thing. Spirit's saying you're holding yourself back on this one, whatever that could be for you. Contemplation mode too. I feel like you could really be stuck in your emotions about being this sensitive, and for some of you, just feeling like you aren't able to connect with others, especially if you feel so naturally drawn to water. It's like, it could literally date back to like, you know, like literally so far back in your family history that originally they could have lived right beside water, is what I just heard as well. Or even in a past life, you could have been someone who constantly even had to, wow, that was a really specific message from Spirit. You could have constantly been someone who, even just to get around, you had to take like a little boat or something from your house, you know, to kind of get across. So you could have lived on an island in a previous life, or you could live on an island, or you could actually just want to kind of live on an island. For some of you, that's a dream of yours when you're older, retire, move somewhere nice and tropical. The dream life. Feel like for some of you, sipping on some pina coladas or something. So we've got the Tower. So for some of you, you're going to have a moment that's going to bring you into a more self-awareness with your own emotions. And it's going to signify one of two things for you, Spirit said. Either A, that you need to move and get closer to a body of water. And like I said, it doesn't need to be like 5 minutes away from you. They're even saying like an hour even away from you. But just by realigning yourself closer to water, there's something that it's going to do for your spirit. It's almost like it's going to really lift your vibration. And now for others of you, they want you to really just come to terms with learning how to balance out your own emotions over the next few weeks or even the next few months, however long it takes for you, Spirit said to, wow, and especially if it has to do with relationships, to not stress it so much. Don't be afraid to be alone as well. Maybe for some of you, this is an overwhelming thought. You're worried you're not going to find your person, so it could be something that keeps you very emotional, they said as well. For some of you, you could be stressed out about finances as well. This could be something very emotional. And for others of you, just looking for that emotional balance, right? Like I said, knowing when to hold back, even though you as a person could be very empathetic and constantly want to shed those tears, just learning how to really balance out those emotions in appropriate settings. Really beautiful messages. Queen of Wands, so you could actually have a water, fire sign kind of cusp there. With the Queen of Wands, we've got Aries, Leo, Sag. And if not, you're actually about to meet a fire sign because we've got double here. And that's awesome because I'm feeling like water and fire, right? The yin and the yang, they really balance the two of each other out. Where one can be more fiery and passionate, the other can be more emotional and sensitive and really balance the two out. So I like that. Leave a comment if you and your person are a water and a fire sign. King of Swords in reverse and the Fool definitely got heavy Pisces energy. Ooh, so for some of you, they're saying you're stuck in a cycle. You're refusing to make these changes, either when it comes to your own emotional balance or making a move closer to water. Could be a dream of yours, could be something you've been thinking of. And for others of you, you're just too stubborn. They're saying to even take like a day to yourself to go and recenter. So take it how it resonates. Right, so let's get a few more. And welcome everyone just tuning in. Definitely heavy water energy. Should have put that in the title, but again, just kind of went and saw what came out. So really hope this is resonating for everyone tuning in. And we're going to get a few more cards for this reading. Okay, these are kind of coming out. Okay. Wow. So with the Page of Swords here, yeah, it's really just all about coming to an emotional maturity, right? Learning how to not let the small stuff affect you so much. So for some of you, you could just be someone very empathetic and sensitive in a sense that small things tend to, you know, not like trigger you in a sense that you're having a tantrum or anything, but just in a sense you could really feel the emotions of certain things if you have certain setbacks or certain victories even, I'm hearing. But really learning how to, almost like you're teaching yourself how to do this too with the page, right? It's a slow moving energy, but it's something that you're learning how to do on your own. And with the birds there, it definitely looks like you've got some spiritual guidance and wisdom from your spirit team. They are showing you how to master your emotions at this time. And I really like the imagery on this card because this message is so specific about water. Because of course this won't always apply. But if you notice with the Page of Swords, she's doing a balancing act over a moat, over water, right? So learning how to really balance those emotions. So really beautiful message there. Wow, Hermit in reverse. Look at that. So for a lot of you, if you do live close to water, they're saying you do not connect to it enough. Or if you have a pool, for some of you, you do not use it enough. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Very specific message. So think about this, they just said. You know how only certain people buy houses with pools and backyards, or only certain people can afford to have a pool at certain times? And sometimes in your life you don't have one, right? And then maybe you have a friend who does or whatnot. Spirit is saying it's not because everyone doesn't deserve a pool or people worked harder than others, which of course can be true as well, right? But it's what Spirit's saying to me right now, loud and clear, is in your life path, it's like when you say you were predetermined to have a pool or someone else was, it's for you, for your highest good, for your emotions to really balance up. So it's like not everyone in their spiritual path needs to be that close to water, right? Whereas others of you absolutely do. So that's really interesting message there. That's going to resonate only specifically for some of you. But yeah, for some of you, I feel like you could just honestly live close to a beach, or say it's like an hour drive from you, or even just growing up, like you always had a cottage, something you're connected to. Notice too with the hermit there, it's almost like sitting on a cliff by a body of water. So for some of you, you could have a cottage on a cliff specifically with like stairs. For some of you, you actually had if you tuned in from the beginning, it was a traumatic event or a significant event happened around a body of water when you could have been younger. For some of you, it was like to do with like you could have fallen maybe as a kid, like hit your head. Or for others of you, just something straight up to do with water. Like I'm feeling like for a lot of you though, there was just, you learned how to swim at a really young age. There was just always a connection you felt. And even now, it could be something that you feel really recenters you just by having that quick shower every day. Like you could be someone who likes to at night and in the morning. And if you feel like you're that type of person that is like that, it's because Spirit says you need that recharge. But that's not for everyone. Wow. So with the star there, really beautiful. Wow. So for some of you, it goes as far as you have like a divine connection between the stars and the water, depending on the geographical locations. If that makes sense. Geographical, not sure. Not one to leave me speechless, y'all, but there you go. The different locations essentially. So you know how you've got the degrees, the timestamps. They're saying something to do with that. Wow, okay. So for some of you, you're going to be on a beach somewhere. They want you to look up the coordinates in the sky and see what constellations are close, and there's going to be a message there. For some of you, directly connected to the star, and for others of you, your true soulmate is in Aquarius. Especially if you are a water sign. So we've got 2 of cups there, right? So signifies a true love soulmate connection. Really beautiful message there. For some of you, if you are a water sign, you are most balanced with an Aquarius. That, of course, won't resonate for everyone. 10 of cups. Beautiful. Yeah, so for some of you, the person you're supposed to have a long-lasting commitment with and family and really be on the same page when it comes to emotions and expressing those with your kids and your family, this person will be an Aquarius. Or also a water sign like yourself. Or if not, and you aren't either of those signs, your person definitely is one of those signs. So Pentacle energy, really beautiful there. There's something to do with water for y'all and actually like a job. So for some of you, it could be that you are connected to the sea in some sorts. Maybe you do have some sort of degree to do with that, studying, or it could just be something you want to do when you're older, when you're retired. Spend a few years just traveling the sea or dedicating your life to some sort of like wildlife research. Because it's really beautiful. Like some people, I feel like just do that, right? I feel like for someone out there, that could be something you've always wanted to explore. Maybe this is a message for you to go ahead and follow that dream. Especially, look at that 5 of cups. So you could be, it's almost like you could be someone that lives the city life, but you'd rather go live in a more like relaxed area or somewhere just with like a nice body of water and just kind of be more at peace away from the busyness of the city for some of you. For others of you, you just have a dream to really like raise a family and have your own cottage as well. Wow, look at that. Magician and water. Look at the water in the imagery. So look at that. For a lot of you, you have the ability to manifest with water. So that's really beautiful. For some of you, you're being asked to actually put water, maybe a cup. If you aren't the type to do this, you should always, they said, have a cup of, wow, okay, Spirit. For some of you, you're being guided to always have a cup of water by your bed because you're constantly someone who needs to be hydrated more so than the rest of like humans, if that makes sense. Like there's a select few. If this really resonates, you'll notice you constantly have to drink water. And you know how they say normally people drink 8 to 10 glasses? It's like you do that, but you still feel thirsty. If that resonates for you, it's because you need that connection to water. And they just want you to constantly have, like, even a glass of water by your bed will also help. Keep positive dreams, they said for some of you. Like, it'll help get rid of nightmares, help get rid of energy drainers. We're going to get a few more messages to close this reading out. For some of you, though, definitely you are going to have a connection with a child, like through your partner, one of your children at least, that will be very emotionally sensitive or a water sign. 8 of Pentacles there. Wow. So for some of you, you're being actually asked to do more cooking when it comes to like seafood in particular. Maybe you like part of your diet, you like salmon, or you could like shrimp. For others of you, you're just being asked to include that more in your diet. You know, they say fish is so good for you too, right? If you're not even able to do that, you could actually, especially I just heard if you're like more of a divine feminine, but it could go for both. Very important to get those omega-3s for some of you. You might start taking those if you're not into like eating fish. You could do the supplements for your hair and nail growth. I'm feeling like overall they're saying it's going to be really good for your health, and especially, wow, thank you, Spirit, never heard that, but prenatal health for some of you that are about to conceive. Really beautiful, interesting messages. I hope this is resonating for y'all. Yeah, definitely we got heavy water energy here, and look at that, cup energy, more water, pouring out those cups of emotions. For some of you, you have a fear of being in a third-party relationship, with it being in reverse. They're saying to let go of these fears at this time now. Really just focus on the fact that who you are as like a very emotionally sensitive, connected person. There's something to do with water balancing you out overall, and just embracing that, because this is actually what others are drawn to you for. So you may not even realize this, but it's like, this could actually be how others find you attractive, but it's like something that you see yourself down on, if that makes sense. But others see it as like a positive quality about you, the fact that you are so emotionally available. For some of you, I just heard too, like, you know, when you get in a relationship with someone and they're not emotionally available, I feel like with you, that's never your problem. This is where you're trying to learn how to manage that a little bit better, right? Wow, funny, because we had the micromanage card at the beginning, and at first I'm like, what does that have to do with? But there you go. So you could be really trying to hold back, micromanage your own emotions, and Spirit's saying it's like almost one of your best qualities about you. So if this resonates for you, don't be afraid to shine in the empathic, beautiful soul that you are. And that's what others really admire you for. For some of you, you just have this ability to see things from a very like sensitive perspective, and people really admire that understanding quality about you. So they're definitely saying to not let go of that, or for some of you, feel inconfident about it or feel like it holds you back. For some of you, you could fear this is what your problem is if you haven't found a long-term relationship. You could feel that others find you very emotional in relationships. But Spirit's saying not to change that, because you will meet the right person who, Spirit, that's so beautiful, who will admire every part of that, right? So that's a really beautiful message for someone out there. But that's really beautiful. Yeah, so they're saying where you're trying to hold back your emotions, that will ultimately cause tower moments for you. They want you to get out of your head, to learn how to balance it. And okay, Spirit, so for some of you, this whole emotions connection to water, what it is when you're feeling very down or sensitive and emotional, to do something connected to swimming, or, you know, like enjoying water, or even just having that moment of prayer beside a body of water or something like this. And that's really going to actually help realign your emotions into a more balanced space. So really interesting message. I want to definitely get a few clarifiers on these here for y'all. Okay. So I feel like the overall message for this is to really just realize that the qualities you may look down on yourself for being emotionally sensitive is something that other people are really drawn to you for. They find it to be one of your best qualities. So it's like really time to learn how to notice how it says focus on you and focus on the positive. So put that focus on you and learning how to accept who you are. For some of you, you need to embrace who you are emotionally more, because especially if you are a water sign, you are someone very giving and loving to others. You could be a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. And if not, you are just someone who's always grown up with some sort of connection to water. And you could just notice that. You know now, as listening to this reading, your whole life, it's just something you've been drawn to. And there's something there for you. If that's the case, it's like it actually does something to realign you and to really rebalance your emotions. So whoever that resonates for, some of you are being guided to make a move. I keep hearing East and West Coast. So take what resonates for you. Let's get those likes up if this video does resonate, and I'll grab a final message for you. Okay, so we're going to go over the Your Life is a Canvas card here. So beautiful. And notice how there's so much blue on all these cards. Just really represents being able to express your emotions freely. All right, so the first meaning here, just want to dive a little bit deeper on this one. All right. You are the artist of your life, and your life is a canvas. Take the responsibility for your ability to create. Earth is known as a planet of manifestation. Your present moment is based on your past thoughts and your beliefs. Your current thoughts determine your future. So what kind of life do you want to create for this future? What are you being called to create at this time? Reconnect with your manifesting power and align your thoughts, feelings. Wow. Literally, it all makes sense now. Okay. So it says reconnect with your manifesting power in order to align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the vibration that matches them. It's never too late to start, and no experience is required. All you need is an open heart and mind and consistent daily action. Beautiful. And for some of you, that's just connecting with some sort of body of water. So it's going to be different for each of you. Like I said, you may not live close to a lake or a beach, right? Anything like that. But there's different ways that they're saying you can connect with water. Could have a fountain you happen to walk by, and one day you're going to go, well, that was always there. Maybe that's what this sign is. For each of you, it'll be different, but you will be guided by spirit. And it's almost like this 5-10 minutes is all it needs to really connect and realign yourself. But for some of you, if you know you have a very deep love for water, you could know that you are the type that's always surfed your whole life or have just recently started learning, something like that. And then when you're in that water, you just feel like you're most alive. Something like this, just know that's because you have this connection. So that's really beautiful. And we're going to get one more clarifier. I wanted to do the Star Keeper there for you and the All Paths Lead Home. So the Star Keeper is you're an ancient keeper of the stars and the sea. We're going to say on this one. Here to anchor and seed your light in some unique way. You've likely been incarnating on Earth for some time, dedicated to an era of awakening and bringing about a long-awaited shift in the planet's evolution. Beautiful. And for some of you, like I said, this is an emotional shift, right? Like an emotional awareness and a reality that it's okay to be emotionally giving and empathetic towards others, right? There's no reason for us to feel like we need to hold back so much. So really beautiful message there. It says the more you remain grounded during this transitional period, the more helpful you will be to others. The more you tend to the flames of your own heart, the more love you'll anchor onto this planet. Wow. So for some of you, that's that confirmation. If you know you're with a fire sign and you're a water sign, or vice versa, the wisdom of the stars is imprinted in your soul. It says the more soul fragments you call home, the more this wisdom is seated here. You may be called in different places in the world to anchor this light. Yo, I have never read this meaning, but that's amazing. So for some of you, like I said, you're being asked to move closer to water. I keep hearing east-west coast, but that might not be the case for you. For some of you, depending where you live, it's just closer to water. That's all I keep hearing. It's going to affect each of you differently. Let's keep going here with this final message for this one. So beautiful. It says, so yeah, you'll be called in different places in the world to anchor this particular light. So for some of you, this emotional fluidity within water. So perhaps by taking a trip or living in a certain location. Bro, I literally have never read that definition before. Thank you. I mean, intuition on point, but that's all I have to say. Okay, that was really beautiful. So it says, the more stable the Earth's energy around you will become and the less reactive humanity will be. You're here for a double mission, to grow as an individual and a part of a larger collective that's about to bring in a shift in frequency. Trust that you can be in the world but not of it and lead a truly glorious life. That is such a beautiful message. So you're being asked to show how it's okay to be emotional and connected to that deeper sense of self and others, but without giving too much, you know? And I feel like that's a balance that you're learning. And once you learn that, it's something you're going to emanate in light towards others. So really beautiful. It says, if you need a starseed kind of a mantra or activation for this specific message, if you really find like this resonated with your sea spirit calling, it says, I acknowledge, you can say this, I acknowledge that I am a sea spirit. I choose to anchor my light and stay as grounded as possible. And since we're talking about sea spirit, I would like to add, if you personally wanted to, you know, for yourself, you could say you are learning how to accept your emotions and seed that light to others around you. I really feel like this is a heavy reading. Even if you're not a water sign, if you're drawn to this reading, there's something for you here about coming to terms with being the emotional, beautiful, sensitive individual you may be. And it's really beautiful because it's something you will guide others with. And like I said, for a lot of you, the reason why you could feel unaccepted or like this behavior is something you've more had to hold back is based on growing up around karmic relationships. People that weren't always giving to you, they were more so taking from you. And otherwise, just people that weren't more so empathetic as you. They didn't really have that understanding of emotions. They could have been more cold-like or in different type of vibes than sensitive and emotional. So we've got one more message here with the all paths lead home. So we're just going to pull that one up quick here. Thank you so much, everyone tuned in. I really hope you could take a message or two out of this. What a beautiful reading. This is a live reading, so feel free to hop in the chats and say something if it resonates for you. And I've got the final message here. So all paths lead home. Inner authority, intuition, turn your gaze within. It's normal to look back to the world externally for answers and guidance. What's revolutionary is turning your gaze inwards. Wow. So for some of y'all, watching tarot, right, might be your way to also turn or gaze outwards for answers that you find you're unable to find on your own. So at this time, specifically, Spirit's telling you to really turn your gaze within to connect with your spirit team. And that's where you're going to find the deepest answers to your questions. So it says to develop a reliable relationship with your soul. The more time you spend connecting with your soul, the deeper the connection will become. Wow, and for some of you, the connection with your soul is through water. So this is really beautiful. Wow. So for some of you, you're learning literally almost how to like have the key to your own master of your emotions through water. If that makes sense. I mean, they're saying there's something there for you. We got 7272 on the live. Absolutely. Angel number there for you as well. Definitely look up the meaning. So I will, after the stream, leave the thing for starfish was the spirit totem and angel number 7272. Beautiful, everyone tuning in. Welcome everyone tuning in. So let's continue on this one message here. This is really beautiful. So it says, you may be called to develop or switch up your spiritual practice at this time. To get in the habit of turning a gaze within, getting centered for the day before consuming anything from the outside world. Wow, okay, so yeah, for some of you, it's as simple as even having that long shower, even if you find you do in the morning and at night too, whatever it is for you, something connected to water. You could even like to meditate and just like have like a liter of water when you wake up. It is for some of you. I feel like some of you are like heavy water drinkers and you feel like you're like a fish in a sense, right? You're constantly drinking the required amount of water, but it's never enough. That's just because you truly are like you are connected to water in a way that it recharges you. So it says, this doesn't mean switching off from realities of today's world. We need as many conscious people as possible living with their eyes wide open. Rather, it is a call to start your day from a place of connectedness, grace, devotion, so that when you go out into the world and when you let the world in, you do it from a very unshakable state of being. Beautiful. So for some of you, this is what's going to like almost like that's crazy. Like I said at the beginning, like align your total core being, your emotions, center you, balance you. And for a lot of you, just directly raise your vibration. So they're saying if this is something you include in your morning routine, you're actually going to be able to get the most out of your days. It says a state where you draw your strength, authority, and guidance from a place deep, deep within. Beautiful. And yeah, for some of you, just drink more water in general. We're going to get one more here because these are just actually going with it so well. I'm just like, I can't even. Because y'all saw me shuffle those and them just like fall on their own. So can't even. And I'm still learning this one deck of cards. So for some of the deeper meanings, I'm definitely aware. But for a few of them, still learning there. But that's really beautiful to see. And like I said, with lifting the veil, it's really just learning how to uncover these emotions and express them in a healthy way to others, right? So for some of you, wow, outgrowing codependency, and even to say necessarily you could have not been the codependent person, but you could have grown up with codependent family members or relationships, or for some of you, even friendships. Especially if you found you were like, at the beginning, we had a lot of the bullying from being a very emotional or sensitive person. So like I said, growing up, you could have even had a group of friends that could have picked on you. Specifically, oh my gosh, my cat is so funny. I just got to share with y'all. You know in the videos when they talk about cats, and you just see it like they literally like just knock a water glass or something off. He just like literally knocked a whole empty tarot box off. So I guess he wants to learn the cards, but I just had to say it because it was like a huge drop in case you hear it. It's so funny. And then he walked away. That's hilarious. Anyways, way to ruin my train of beautiful thought on this. That is hilarious. But yeah, I feel like for a lot of you, if you really connect with this reading, it's like learning how to master your emotions or to really balance out your emotions so that you can express how to be this way towards others. So for some of you, you're actually going to be guided to teach others how to do so. I'm surprised we didn't have the teacher archetype. Double karmic relationship though, so that's where we were. That was my train of thought. I feel like for some of you, you could have just been really like beat down by others in like a mental sense, and the fact that you were a very emotional person. maybe it bothered others, right? Especially if you grew up around people that could have been raised to not be so emotional. Like I said, some people could have been raised, or even like a parent of yours or a partner, just not to show their emotions, whereas you could be overly expressive with your emotions. And that's something you're learning how to balance out in this lifetime. And I just heard, wow, for some of you, it's like from lifetime to lifetime, this is your one lesson. Because, I mean, of course, we have multiple lessons, but this is like the one repeating message and lesson is just the fact that you keep having to learn how to evolve your emotions to a sense of balance. So that's only going to be specific for someone out there. And it's almost like Spirit saying you relearn it every time, but then every time you reincarnate, you're too giving. So then they make you learn the lesson again. Or you hold back your emotions too much, and then they're like, okay, you got to learn this lesson again. So we had You Are a Star come out again. Wow, so beautiful. So for some of you, double confirmation on star energy there. And if this is resonating for you, I really hope you're able to take a message out of it. Wow, you are enough. I feel like someone needs to hear this right now. Your angels are sending you extra love, light, and protection during this time. If you have recently faced some sort of rejection, know it was divine protection. So if someone rejected you for being too sensitive and sweet, or maybe for being too, what they would consider too emotional, right? Because they didn't really understand you, or the person you were dealing with didn't express their emotions enough, just know that you're absolutely enough, and you're going to meet someone who admires that the most about you. I feel like you're really meant to have a family with someone who is going to really stress the fact on how important it is to the two of you to be very like empathic and open and connected when it comes to raising a family. So like with your children, you know, almost like showing them too, wow, that's really beautiful message from Spirit, like an open door policy, right? You'd rather your family or say your future kids to be able to really come and express whatever they're feeling or going through, because maybe growing up that was something you didn't have or your partner didn't have. And it's like the two of you are going to have this really strong set of morals and like beliefs together. So it's really beautiful there. I feel like the two of you will really be able to like come to a middle ground, but it's like the groundwork will be the same, you know? The two of you will be on very similar mindsets as to when it comes to raising kids or just allowing them to really be their true authentic self. So that's really beautiful. Really beautiful. And we're going to do like 2 more messages and close it out. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I feel like there was a lot there, especially if you were a water sign. And even if you aren't and you just feel like you're a very sensitive or more emotional person, this could definitely be a reading for you. And hey, you may have just been drawn to it because you know you've always been someone who loves either the sea or fishing or some sort of connection to water. Then there hopefully is a message there for you as well. For some of you, you're going to do something to do with that, and that's actually going to bring you some sort of opportunity or wow, stability for some of you. For some of you, maybe you're going to end up owning like a boating business, or it could be something you want to do. For others of you, you just would love to dedicate your life to underwater, like studying, stuff like that. If you were ever given an opportunity. Yeah, it's like if you were ever given an opportunity to go ahead and say like travel to the other side of the world, say you live in the United States or something and you want to move to Australia or vice versa, something like that, just to be in a new opportunity. I feel like for some of you, like, you know, you would leave in a heartbeat. For some of you, definitely a water and a fire sign, because we've got heavy fire energy there. Also got some air energy as well, so it could be a third party with an air sign. And if not, more water energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Really beautiful though. I feel like for some of you as well, you will have 3 kids with this particular person. Please remember only to take what resonates. For others of you, I just heard maybe this is really going to be a specific message for someone. But if you've ever debated, like you have kids and you want to put them in swimming lessons, but you're not sure if you should or not, this could be your message from spirit that it's always a good thing to do because it's more of a safety thing too, right? Them being able to know how to swim in case of an emergency ever. So they're saying maybe you have been unsure about it or like even on the fence with the decision. So that could be a message for someone very specific. Like I feel like it's a message for someone who knew they had a traumatic experience with water growing up because maybe possibly you didn't know how to swim when you were younger in that until you were older. Or for others of you, it's just like you never got the opportunity to learn how to swim. Like notice the 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment, right? So it's 1 cup missing. So you could have had a lot of opportunities in your life through your parents to do other things, but maybe swimming or being close to water and that was never on the agenda or part of your life. And it's actually part of your life purpose or your path for some of you. And for others of you, it's just to be closer to water. Wow, for some of you as well, it's like something to do with a specific constellation and the beach, those coordinations there. Notice the moon cycles as well. So for some of you, really pay attention to the moon phases if you do live close to water already. You are being asked as well if you want the best time for your manifestation is to go during the next full moon cycle towards water. And for others of you, it's just to have some sort of like either more water in your life or water around you. 7 of Swords in reverse. Get a clarifier for that one. One fall there. All right. The Hermit could be dealing with a Virgo. And if not, I just feel like this person tried to take emotions from you, tried to make you maybe pour out more emotions than you gave back to them. This could have left you feeling drained and taken from and deceived for some of you. I feel like if that's the case and you know you've recently gone into kind of like a single period or being alone, like not dating anyone, just know that they're letting you know it's okay to open up your emotions again, to put your heart back out there. For some of you, someone needs to hear that. If you got your heart broken previously by either an air sign or a Virgo, it's time to give your heart back out in love. Okay, so we had 1 fall, High Priestess in reverse. So for some of you, this person blocked your intuition by blocking your emotions. So like they would do little things to confuse your emotions in order to block you, if that makes sense. So this person could have known you were very highly sensitive when it came to certain subjects, right? Or you could watch certain things or hear something from them. Certain things just could make you more upset than other things do. And if that doesn't resonate, it's just like this person liked to feed off your emotions and take your emotions, drain them. This looks like past energy though. Looks like you had to go into a hermit mode. And for a lot of you, this is when you're going to meet this fire sign. But for some of you, it is a fire sign that was the past energy that was draining. And for others of you, this fire sign is what's going to save you from this draining past energy. So that's going to go 2 ways for y'all there. With the Strength in reverse, though, it's just like you could have been in a very unreciprocal relationship, feeling constantly like this person was taking more than they were pouring back into it. So it could have been more of like a physical-based connection than it was a deep emotional connection. And you could have constantly been trying to give to it deep and emotionally and find that you were being taken from. You didn't really feel like you always had the strength to get through the situation. Ultimately, for a lot of you, if that is your case, you spending that time alone, recharging, and learning how to balance your emotions is really going to help you in this next relationship. Thank you so much, everyone that's just tuning in. If you wanted to leave a donation, I've got my super chat open and my PayPal attached. And if not, just even hitting that like button. I really do appreciate the support. And I hope this reading is resonating for you. So with the Eight of Swords, they really want you to let go of even any fears that you currently still have in your mind about being over emotional or being cold. Maybe some of you realize you've been holding yourselves back now. It's just about having this balance. Spirit wants you to trust that you're being guided to be able to have this ability to do so. Like it could have been something you've been struggling with for a long time. If that's not the case, just know by you recharging close to water or some sort of connection to water, even if it's just from your house, and drinking more water, right? There's something for each of you, but down to very specific. Some of you need to meditate by water. If that's the case, they're actually going to activate or open up some sort of new gifts for you and just really balance you out. And for a lot of you, this like particular wisdom or aura that you're going to express is actually what's going to bring in your life partner. So really beautiful energy. For a lot of you, you kept dealing with karmic relationships. So this is why they didn't understand your emotions too. You could have felt misunderstood a lot of the times. Just like people weren't on your understanding, right? Like you felt like no one was like you. Especially when it came to relationships or even family as well. People were always taking more than they were giving. And notice the variety in the pentacles there. You got some big ones and some small ones. It's like that's how it was with the people around you in your life. Karmic relationships, so that's not what I meant, okay, guys? With some big ones and some small ones, I just meant specifically there were specific times that people would give more to you and specific times more that they would hold back from you. Oh, man. Thank you so much, everyone tuned in. Two of Wands. Wow. It looks like this person longs to be close to the sea too. So if you know you live so far away from water right now and Spirit just said, if you know you get a lot of migraines, colds even, or just feel imbalanced all the time or drained, lack of energy, you need to move closer to water. There's something there for you. Let's get a couple more messages. Interesting. So the end of this whole you being stuck in your head about overgiving and not giving, more holding back. This Page of Swords energy is about to come to an end and kind of like dissolve. And they're really just asking you to let go of any final burdens or thoughts or anxieties that may be holding you up at this time. For some of you, it's just really letting go of past traumas and hurts, maybe being brought down for the fact that you were emotional growing up. Or like, for example, you could have been, say, the youngest out of a big family growing up and everyone could have picked on you for being so emotionally sensitive. For others of you, say you were the only feminine growing up with like masculines, like say you had a bunch of brothers or something, so you could have been picked on for being more emotional, stuff like that. Yeah, definitely like family situation, I feel like is where it initiated for you. Growing up feeling like being too emotional was looked down on. Page of Cups in reverse too, almost like it was immature to be too emotional, which now you're starting to learn as you grow older, like you're okay with that, and you want to make sure that the family you have doesn't grow up thinking that's how it should be, the way that you were taught. It's almost like you want them to be able to see that you can grow up into a very strong, independent, still like balanced person if you are emotional. You don't have to hide it away, right? So that's a really strong, beautiful message for someone out there. Wow, one more card to clarify this reading. So Spirit, right now, let's get one clarifier as to what the next action is and maybe specifically what some of you need to do to connect to this body of water. Six of Swords. Some of you need to go on a boat. I don't know how that resonates. It's going to resonate different for everyone. You may not have an opportunity till the summer, right? Maybe you have a cottage you go to in the summer. For others of you, you could be going on vacation next week and watching this reading and being like, yep, already there. And for others of you, you could be like, nope, no plans. this is as close as we're getting with this reading. That's okay. But there's another way then they're saying that you can figure it out. For some of you, you might actually have a pool and they're saying get on that floaty and just relax and meditate, even if it's twice a week. Be different for each of you, but something there about how you'll be able to really just like draw yourself back to a centered balance. But yeah, I just feel like some of you too, you could tend to have migraines. Oh, there's one here that's flipped. I didn't even know. Wow. So some of you could tend to have migraines or feel imbalanced due to your emotions as well. You could also feel like your emotions brings you a sense of instability. Like maybe in the past you do find it affects jobs. Maybe you are more sensitive when it comes to other individuals. Or like, for example, you could feel just really affected by things to the sense where it affects your way of being overall. I feel like Spirit wants you to know you'll be able to come into this balance and you will no longer feel kind of like an Ace of Pentacles in reverse energy, feeling imbalanced when it comes to probably having maybe like less focus on finance and more on just your like stabilizing of emotions. I feel like that's a huge theme, you know, day to day. And some people don't even realize that. For some people, especially if you're a water sign, you could just find certain specific events just trigger you more than they do others. Or if not, you just have like an outpour of emotions constantly happening. Okay, beautiful. 3 of Wands. How fitting as our final card here. Look at that. They're saying let go of any fears, inhibitions. For some of you, maybe you do have a fear of water or something to do with it. And maybe you were tuned into this reading and this was a message for you at the very end here. If that's not the case, regardless, just know there's something with you connecting with water. It's going to allow you to see past, to see past the darkness, to see through the darkness and into the light. And notice too how if you think about it, it's like a direct reflection, right? So for some of you, they're saying by connecting with water, say by going to the beach or doing some sort of meditation, even if it's next to a fountain or say you have a pool, whichever it may be for you, doing that inner reflection is going to really allow you to heal some of your past traumas and wounds and come into this full balance of your emotions. And for some of you, it's like that's when it's going to happen, is right when you meet your new person. And the two of you are going to have very similar moral values on that. So very beautiful there. I really hope this reading resonated for you. This was such a beautiful reading. Lots of energies going on. Heavy on Pisces. That was the most reoccurring sign. And water just in general. We had Scorpio and Cancer as well. And we definitely had a lot of... the Chariot came up a few times. So definitely a lot of water energy. And otherwise, we also had a lot of sword energy and fire. So for some of you, it's either that you are meeting a water, fire, or air sign, or you are a water sign meeting a fire or air sign. So we're going to leave it there and just know that you're being guided right now. If you have some sort of fear when it comes to water, or it's almost like you got a tough destination to reach, right? You got to get through those rocky waters first before you make your way to some sort of outcome. Just know that you're on your way to smooth sailing. They're saying to really just learn how to almost like go with the flow when it comes to your emotions and life. And for some of you, really just balance it out, right? Not let the little or the tough stuff get to you so much. Not let the little stuff get you too excited. Just to have that more what you would consider for yourself a mature balance, because I feel like others see you as someone who's very mature and emotionally giving, but it could just be something you're wanting to work on, or I keep hearing from Spirit more like fine tune within yourself. So I really hope that resonated for you. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. And until next time, have an amazing night.